Hey guys, this is Jamie with GettingCrafty.net. We are doing Fashion Friday inspiration using this amazing little dress. It seems a little too simple, but it makes it easy to create something elegant, especially with the new online exclusive Elegant Borders dies. Look at this, and we're going to create an asymmetrical card. Very easy. That's perfect to send out to anybody who might be fashionable and appreciate something elegant and clean and beautiful. Let's go ahead and dive in right now. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that button so that you can join us all week long for lives and lots of creative tutorials. Let's go ahead and start right now. So embracing this great stamp set with wonderful greetings called Peaceful Moments, we are going to take two of those greetings, the Life is Better with a Friend Like You and Happy Birthday. This is going to go to one of my girlfriends, Shannon, whose birthday was this week, and so I wanted to send her something. Now, she is my California girl. She loves herself some fashion, and we both appreciate, and we have a passion for cabbie. If you know cabbie fashion at all, you know we love it, and it's classic and true, and I thought that this asymmetrical style handmade card inspired by a sweet dress that you see there, loose and gauzy, perfect for the Midwest, was a great card to send to her. Embracing the new Elegant Border dies, we're going to grab this one right here to create these two edges. You can see the full tutorial on my blog with measurements at gettingcrafty.net. Now, I already have this score done here, and one side is bigger than the other on purpose because the dress that inspired it actually is off to the side, and I want to create a slight interest with this handmade card just like that. Now, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to die cut this in a way so that it lays well together. So that's what we're going to do. Now, as I'm going to be die cutting, I'm using the Stampin Up cut and emboss machine right here, and I'm going to lay it out. Now, you might need a sticky note or something to help hold it down, possibly. I am a person who is dyslexic, so I have a tendency to need to eyeball stuff before I put it on. And I want actually I'm going to go opposite this time. I want the long side here, and I need to visualize it. This is going to be a front side of the card that you see just like this. That being the case, I'm grabbing the smaller size here, and I recommend you start with the black. Start with the top layer when you're going to die cut. And we're going to take and go from the bottom up. And you want to look for, on any dies with a trim like this, a line that goes all the way across. Here, they're little dashes. That means that it's going to stay connected. This full cut line, which you could touch it right now and it will not hurt you, is the perfect way to die cut. So we're going to go ahead and go up with that little line, just like so. And we're going to put our clear sheets on top and then die cut it. So let me grab that here. It down, and this is the easiest machine for just that. You can go forward, you can go back, it's up to you how you want to do this. Now, I do want to show you our brush attachment to remove all of the hanging chads. So I'm going to toss away that little bit. I use the Take Your Pick tool and the accessory that goes with it. And these foam squares I put inside of one of my paper pumpkin boxes. And then I'm going to just brush over it. This is going to remove all of those little hanging chads that you see there. Now, if there's any that are left over, you could take your end of your Take Your Pick tool and just punch any out in those little holes. And then what we're going to do, now that it's clear and ready to use with the white, is we're going to lay the white out just like you see here. And I'm going to use the black as a template for where my die is going to go. And that's kind of important. Again, looking for the blade side down. For that, I see a little hanging chad. I want to remove that. There we go. And we're going to lay this down just as a little template so that it has a pretty even fold. You can tuck it under just like I'm going to do, like this. Just under. I'm a little snug right here trying to film this for you guys. And we're going to come down, placing it where we want it, and the black slightly on top. I have it, and it's cutting off of the card. That's what's really kind of important with this. You might want to tilt it up a little bit. You might want to play with it. But now that I have that, I'm going to put my finger there, removing the black to the side, using a sticky note to just help hold it where I want it to go. Now, is it required to go forward and back in order to make sure it stays and die cuts? No, it's not. But anytime I have any fine hanging chad, little intense die cut, I have a tendency to go forward and back. It could be my own insecurity. It could be when I've used other inferior products that reinforce that. I really don't know. And we're gonna do the same with the other side really quickly so you guys can see that. We're gonna make sure we take our sticky note off. Take your little hanging chad bottom corner, and then that cut and emboss, or take your pick tool, accent here, and I'm just going to brush it to remove all the hanging chads. And you should see here, there's a little bit left right there. So you just take that hole and you push it out. And then if there was any here, you can take your, the fine point right there and push it through. You can do a lot with that. Like you can take and brush it again. This is very intricate. I don't want to abuse that lacy feel. So what I'll do is I will just kind of finagle it just a smidge, and there you go. So when we lay the black over it, it's going to look just like this. Boom, boom. How easy is that? Okay, so you can see we've created. Now, I did see that it went past the pattern, probably because as I was filming that, my husband actually called, and I could refilm this and it's fine. I'm actually going to end up, because that will tear, I will snip off what is at the seam right there. I'm just not going to fight that little hanging chad. I'm just not going to. And here, this isn't bad. It's going to hold. So I'm not really worried about that. When you have something loose like that, that's going to really count against you. Now, this is an interactive little fun fold. It's a quick one. It's just a little gatefold, it's not even a gatefold, it's a door fold card. And it's asymmetrical, so it's slightly smaller than the standard card, but it fits into your standard envelopes. I wanted that same look that you would have seen with the Fashion Friday that you can see right here. Now, to create this, we have these two little panels that we're just going to put on. How easy is that? So I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus. The secret to using a Stampin' Seal Plus is to less pressure than you think you need. So I'm going to go across here. And then I have a tendency to put my finger on the adhesive so that I can line it up. Take and open this here. I'm going to eyeball how it lays down. And you can really use any of these 4 elegant borders to create a similar card. This would be a great wedding card. It's just super elegant and easy to use. And we're going to do the other. Now, this is just an optical way of doing it so that I'm not distracted by the background in applying the layer here. And fashion is a great way to be inspired. No matter if you're wearing your sweats like I am wearing a sweatshirt today, it was a snowy day here in Indiana, to if you are dressed to the nines. And sometimes I do that too. Actually, usually at least once a week. I do love fashion. So here we have a little asymmetrical card. Now, we are stamping directly to the base, and I'm going to be using one of my favorite black ink pads, the Stays On black ink pad, which is ideal when using, yes, you did hear me just smell that. If you know me, these smells like almonds, and I love it so much. We're using the Peaceful Moment stamp set. This is one of my friend Christine's favorite stamp sets, and I didn't know, both these women know each other. And they're my friends back in California. They share the same birthday. Shut the front door. Who knew? They might know. I didn't know. And I've known them for years. Maybe I recognize that like on the day of, but it didn't really like click. There you go. StazOn is a little bit stickier when you apply it. It's a solvent alcohol-based ink. It's ideal for watercoloring, right? And so we've inked up this greeting down here. I have a tendency to use the meaty part of my hands to put that down to balance me out. And because it's an alcohol-based ink, I'm just gonna make sure it's really lovely and juicy. And just stamp it down. No rocking, just hold it down. You can even do a wiggle if that's what you're wanting. Boom. Life is better with a friend like you. A great thing to have in your collection is greetings. Stamp sets that have a variety of greetings allow you to take any stamp set and become useful for a variety of reasons, right? Now we're gonna grab these matte black dots that we have and my take your pick tool. Now, anytime, fair warning, that you have a card that's an interactive like this, I have a tendency to bone fold this to make a firm impression harder than I would any other time. Like I'm gonna go in and sometimes I even manipulate it in a way that is painful. Poor thing. I will bend it just a little bit, bend it backwards, just because I want it to lay flat, especially when shipping. And we're going to go ahead and just add some buttons. Now, this was not on the dress. I just thought it needed a little zhuzh, you know? Actually, I have no idea what the heck that was. Here we go. There was an extra adhesive right there. And use my take your pick tool and push that down. It's got a gummy end right there. And I use that a lot to pick up the embellishments. And did you know it actually makes you look thinner to wear clothing and it's more interesting. It's a more diverse look, but it makes you look thinner if things are asymmetrical on your body. Instead of being straight up and down, if they go off to the side, it's distracting, so people assume that you're thinner, which is kind of an interesting concept. But the more I've studied fashion over the years, which I have, it just worked out that way. So life is better with a friend like you. Happy birthday. I probably should have dropped that a little bit, but it's not going to kill the handmade card. It's super easy. You can see here where I placed those dies maybe a little bit better. But then here the die, I didn't stamp down in the ink pad well enough. So like, what do? Is it perfect? No, it doesn't have to be, right? And then looking at the inspiration right here, what do you guys think? Did this embrace the inspiration of what we see in this beautiful handmade card? Comment and let me know. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed and hit that bell so you can join us all week long. And I really, really love the look of this card. And I adore the fact that it's an easy handmade card that you can make in just a few moments. Make several of these, put them in a drawer. This is the tip though. Take a sticky note on the back of the last one in the drawer and write down who you've gifted it to over the years. And then so when you go to pull it out, you see you didn't send 2 to Shannon or you didn't send 2 to Christine, right? Such a beautiful card. Not to people don't want to get the card, but you thought of them as you were making it, so you have a tendency to send it to them. I love how it came out. What do you think? These elegant borders are an online exclusive with Stampin' Up! Right now. You can see a link to them on my blog and all the measurements that help you with this asymmetrical look at gettingcrafty.net. Check out these upcoming videos. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure that you subscribe and join us. We are live every Tuesday and we bring you videos all week long. Thanks for joining us. Comment, what do you think? And if you have a fashion inspiration, let me know. I'd be glad to create a card inspired by it. Thanks for joining us. Mwah! Crafting blessings. Bye.